Alright, so it's that time of year where I release my, annual new Shimano reel prediction video. Now, of course, a few videos ago, I showed you guys a whole bunch of new reels that DAIWA has introduced, including a new STEEZ light, a new RYOGA, and of course, a new GACKALL. What's funny is that DAIWA announced these new reels earlier than they normally do, which usually starts in December. But with Shimano, unless someone on their pro staff slips up and shows a reel on their social media, generally you're not going to see what they have to offer until a couple of days before the start of the Japanese fishing shows, which go on at the end of January every year. So we definitely got at least a couple of months left. But in this video, I'm going to predict and speculate new reels that may be coming out, and then I'm also going to give a wish list with reels I hope Shimano will come out with, but they probably won't. So let's get started. Now, of course, that means we're going to Shimano Japan's webpage, and of course we're going to focus on bait casters because I don't care about spinning reels that much. Go to reel, bait casting, and there could be a possibility of a new ANTARES DC coming out. And that's because last year they came out with a new non-DC ANTARES. Now usually the order is that Shimano will come out with a new ANTARES DC, and then of course within the next year or two they'll come out with the Monster Drive version. So I don't think a new Monster Drive will be coming out in 2026. But there is a good possibility that there will be a new ANTARES DC. Now, as far as Calcutta Conquest DC, I can't remember when this reel came out. I think it came out like after the latest ANTARES DC. So I don't think they'll be coming out with a new one of those. Now, of course, Metanium DC came out just a couple of years ago. Aldebaran DC came out last year. Scorpion DC, I think, came out in 2021, so it's only going to be about 5 years old. Now I say only, but there is an outside chance we could see a new Scorpion DC based off of the latest, Scorpion platform. Alright, now SLX DC, I think, is only about 3 or 4 years old. I doubt that's getting replaced. CURADO DC, which is translated as Clado DC. Doubt that's getting placed before it gets replaced here in America. SLX DC, I don't think that's getting replaced either until the SLX DC in America gets updated. Of course, the new ANTARES came out just last year, and the 2019 ANTARES looks like it's going to be staying on as a more finesse-oriented ANTARES. Now, let's talk about the Metanium. Now, it's hard to believe, but the current Metanium is going to be 6 years old in just a couple of months. It came out in 2020. That's how fast time has flown. So I would not be surprised if Shimano either came out with a new model, but more than likely they're going to just refresh the current Metanium. You know, give it the latest MGL4 spool, silent drive, a couple of internal tweaks, hopefully give it the 6-arm SVS Infinity. But for all you Metanium fans or people who are just about to pull the trigger on the current Metanium, you may want to hold off until the end of January to see if Shimano is indeed coming out with an all-new Metanium or updating the current one, which is pretty much like what they did with the last Metanium. With that model, the new one came out in 2013, and then they updated it pretty quickly with the MGL model, that bright silver one, in 2016. So do not be surprised if something happens with the Metanium. Alright, next up. Alright, so Metanium shallow spool. I don't think anything's happening with that reel. But Aldebaran MGL. I've been predicting a new Aldebaran for like the last 3 or 4 years, and every year Shimano has proved me wrong. But let's hope finally this is the year we get a new Aldebaran MGL. More than likely they're going to, of course, use the current Aldebaran frame, probably downsize the spool to 30 millimeters, but let's hope they keep the SBS Infinity braking system. But if they come out with the new Aldebaran MGL, I'm definitely in. Alright, now the Bantam. I doubt anything's happening with this reel, but who knows, maybe they'll come out with a Bantam DC. That wouldn't shock me at all, considering last year they finally came out with an Aldebaran DC. But yeah, I doubt the standard Bantam is going to get any kind of change or upgrade. Calcutta Conquest, Monster Drive, and regular Calcutta Conquest. I think they're going to be left unchanged. Calcutta Shallow Edition, that's going to be left unchanged. Scorpion MD 200 and Scorpion MD 300, both very new reels, so I doubt anything's going to be happening with them. But the frame of the Scorpion MD 200 is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the possibility of a new Scorpion DC. Alright, SLX. I doubt anything's happening with this reel because nothing's really happened to it here in the American market where it came out. Conquest BFS came out in 2023, so I doubt anything's happening with that. I doubt anything's happening with the Aldebaran BFS, even though it's going on 4 years old. Can you believe this reel has been out that long? It only seems like it's a couple of years old. Now, of course, SLX BFS just came out last year, at least the updated version, so I doubt that's being changed. And then we come to the last page where we have these two reels, the Bass 1 XT and the Bass Rise, even though it says Bus Rise. Now, I have the Bass Rise, and I believe this reel came out in 2018, so we're looking at 8 years old. And you can see that it is based off of the long discontinued Casitas frame. So I would not be surprised if the Bass Rise gets updated. Now the Bass 1 also is based off the Casitas frame, but I doubt both of them will be updated with new models in the same year because they're kind of competing with each other on the low end of Shimano's price range. But if they do update one, I hope it's the Bass Rise. So the current EXSENCE DC, doubt it's getting a new model before an ANTARES DC since it is based basically on the ANTARES DC. But this EXSENCE DC SS, if they update this reel to a new model, it is probably going to be based off of the current Scorpion CURADO 200M frame. So those are my predictions. I think we're probably going to see some form of a new or updated Metanium, Aldebaran, and possibly a new updated ANTARES DC. So now it's time to talk about, I guess, my wish list of what I wish Shimano would come out with. Now, number one, let's go over to, I think it's here. Yeah, I think this is it. I wish Shimano would come out with a dedicated horse mackerel reel based off of the current Aldebaran BFS platform. Give it an ultra shallow spool that's even lighter than the current one. Give it some kind of a braid tune brake system, because horse mackerel fishing is quickly becoming one of the most popular forms of fishing, at least in Japan. But as you can see with Shimano's current, I guess, inshore saltwater reels, they have some, but no dedicated BFS models. You got the new Style, which is based off the Aldebaran frame, Style SS. You have the Stefano. You have the Genpu, that's an old reel. The Engetsu, but I understand Shimano made the Aldebaran BFS and Conquest BFS good enough to be able to fish ultralight lures that are used for horse mackerel fishing, but Shimano is definitely leaving money on the table by not coming out with a dedicated aging BFS reel. Aging being the Japanese word for horse mackerel. I mean, DAIWA's got what, like 7 or 8 BFS reels in its lineup around the world, and Shimano's only got like 3. So yeah, that's pretty much the only thing I wish for coming out of Shimano. But yeah, let me know what you predict in the comment section. Or does anyone have any insider information about what's coming out, especially you guys over in Japan? But of course, we're gonna have to wait and see until the end of January to see how right or how wrong I am. All right, guys, thanks a lot.